This is Jackie, and I'm here with Malcolm London on day 3 of Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
How's it going so far?
It's great. We got in late last night, like 12 o'clock, but I'm excited today. Today's the day I perform too, so just all nerves, all goodness.
It's a big day, but you've done this before. I've
done big venues, and I'm particularly sometimes doing poetry or speaking. This is my first time as a rapper at one of the biggest music festivals ever. So
no pressure.
Yeah, no. Thanks. Yeah.
I think you'll find that Bonnaroo is pretty laid back, pretty open and receptive. So I just think as long as you go out there and do what you need to do.
This is your first time here.
Yeah, this is not my first rodeo. This is year 4 for me.
All right. Yeah.
So you've come up. You do a little bit of everything, which I love. Like you're more than a triple threat. You're like a quadruple pentathreat, whatever. We'll make a new term for it. But how'd you get your start as a speaker and a poet?
Being a class clown.
As a teacher, I respect that.
But I think when I was a kid, I graduated with a 1.9 GPA, and so I'd often find myself in different alternative educational spaces, and I would stumble into different community centers, and I found Young Chicago Authors, which is a nonprofit in Chicago, and just being in that space. I'm from the west side of Chicago, which Chicago is like, a fortress of diverse segregation. And so, yeah, I stumbled into this place and I absolutely fell in love. And I think more than anything, even now as a person who goes into classrooms, I think essentially it was just be given the permission to do that shit. And, I think that's all it took. So, yeah.
You're not a troublemaker after all.
No,
I knew better than that.
I'm the good trouble, good kind, the good kind.
I like that. So how has Chicago been an inspiration to your work?
Oh man, it's the precipice. It's like the, I have a friend a mentor that always says, Chicago, my story is a Chicago story, but it's also a human story, because I think through telling stories, we begin to see each other through all the other stories, right? It's a human story just elsewhere, right? And so, yeah, but Chicago's everything. So
from Chicago to PBS TED Talk,
yeah.
I mean, you've really done a lot of different things. So how did you make the transition? And as an English teacher, it's not a surprise to me, but how did you make the transition from poet to rapper? Music.
Yeah, just having the music behind it, really. Yeah, I like. Yeah, it's and I'm still figuring it out and trying to redefine what even a rapper or a poet means.
So how would you like to use your platform to share your personal story and other stories about Chicago and what you've been experiencing?
Yeah, I think telling stories is ultimately the very foundation for how history is told. And history often leaves out some people and deliberately silences others. And so, I think about just people telling their stories, particularly folks whose stories have been marginalized or who don't get the opportunity, that by doing that you begin to open the world.
Especially in 2017, it's been a really divisive time this year. Yeah. I think last year we were like, 2016 sucked. It's got to be better. And then we got to 2017 and we're like, oh shit. Yeah. How can you use music to unite people in such a divisive time?
I've only known music to do that, and that's why I love music, because it's always been that haven, from the political, or it is political, but it's a different conversation, in a different space, in a different language.
And so tell me about what inspired your debut release.
Opia. It's called Opia. I released it in October, and it means the ambiguous intensity of looking someone in the eye, which can feel both invasive and vulnerable. And I found that word, being a word nerd, and
being a word nerd, I love that.
Yeah, and I found it. And that's kind of just what I wanted. I don't want to worry about being the best bravado rapper. I just wanted to, when people listen to my music, I wanted them to feel like they were looking me in the eyes.
Love that. What role does SoundCloud, Spotify, streaming sites like that have in your career?
Yeah, every. I mean, I love SoundCloud. Shout out to SoundCloud. All music should be free, and we're just make it free, and people make all this shit beautiful, and water should be free. I don't know.
Please, there's a lot of things that need to be free around here.
Yeah.
So what's up next for you after Bonnaroo?
I play Wicker Fest in Chicago, which is like a cool ass thing in Chicago, but it's dropping a project next year, and just still figuring it out.
Well, stay tuned for much more from big things from Malcolm London. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and One Avenue.